All right, we are live. Hey, everybody. It's John Nemo. I'm back. I'm so excited to see you. Let me know as you're getting logged in, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube. Let me know where you're logging in from and what type of work you do. I want this to definitely be today's training to definitely be a very interactive session. So again, the topic is really going to be all about how to use LinkedIn to generate leads without being spammy, without annoying your connections, how to actually find and engage and sell to your ideal prospects on the platform. So I want to make sure that I give you lots of feedback. If you've got questions, if you want me to look at your profile page, things like that. So let me make sure that we get that going. So again, definitely let us know in the comments where you're logging in from, what type of work you're doing. I'm going to have Rebecca Arco, who's our superstar VP of Client Strategy and Business Development. She's going to be super active in the comments as well. So again, we want to make sure that we get as much value as we can today to you here around LinkedIn. And I know I'm on a couple of minutes early. I will say I'm very disappointed in my Minnesota Vikings. I thought this was our year. I thought Sam Darnold was going to take us home. What's that, Victor the Viking? What? Don't bring back Sam Darnold. Okay. What else? There's always next year. No, there's not, Victor. We've been suffering since 1961. You can also tell me who you think will win the Super Bowl coming up, the Chiefs or the Eagles. Again, welcome. I'm John Nemo. I could care less about the Super Bowl. I do care about LinkedIn. I care about getting you wins, getting you leads. So again, let me know in the comments on LinkedIn or on YouTube where you're logging in from, what type of work you do. Definitely want to make sure I can bring as much value as possible. All right, so look, we got first in. We got Andrew, welcome, franchise broker located in Fairfield County, Connecticut. Andrew, who's going to win the Super Bowl, Chiefs or Eagles? Do you care? Could you care less? All right, who else we got in here? Let's franchise hour. All right, Dina is in, Conroe, Texas franchise advisor. All right. Oregon, smarter hiring. Okay. Love it, Jim. Love it. Tell us a little bit more. I'm intrigued about what smarter hiring means. Okay. Again, we've got lots of people in. If you've got a Super Bowl pick, let me know. Again, we're going to start here live in just a couple minutes. Want to make sure that we get everybody welcomed. Again, my name is John Nemo. We're going to be covering lots of different topics today around LinkedIn, how to generate leads. Oh, Royce is here. All right. It's only 55. Royce and I go way back with these live trainings. Royce always gives me a great weather report. Good to see you. All right. We got David Sandberg hopping in, the home office, independent consulting, strategic planning. Love it, love it, love it. All right. We got Jeff, cybersecurity consulting. All right. Welcome, welcome. All right. Love it. Andrew's going with the Chiefs. Probably a safe pick. I would agree. Oh, Annette. Hey, Annette, good to see you. London, bookkeeping. I remember you, Annette. Yes, yes, yes. How have you been? Great to see you. All right. We've got Martin Robertson here, MDR Business Group. No idea what that is. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to a more clear headline. Don't worry. All right. We got Catherine in here, Mandeville, Louisiana, CFC. Does that mean you're like a financial planner? So remember, when you're commenting, let me know where you're logging in from and what type of work you do. If you've got a pick for the Super Bowl, we'll take that. All right, Chris is in, sales consultant, Christian clients. All right, so you got a niche there. Love it. Pathways to Transformation, interesting name. Fairfield Glade, Tennessee. For some reason, I can't see some of the names when I post them. I don't know why that is. All right, we got Ken, another franchise broker. All right, so hold on, franchise folks. Let me make sure. Oh, hold on. I have one of my books I have one for franchise consultants. I got to make sure you guys all have that book. It's here somewhere. Gratuitous flybys. I got all the books coming out. You can get all the books for free at nemomediagroup.com, by the way. All right, I'm going to welcome a few more folks, then we'll get started. We got Deb, all right, from Lancaster. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, Steve, a.k.a. Touchdown Alexander from Seattle. I remember you, Steve. Good to see you. Kathleen, Grand Rapids. Tell me what type of work you do as well, guys. So Kathleen, Steve, remind me again of what type of work you do. Darren from Birmingham, family safety and protection. All right, we're going to have to figure out what that is. Are we keeping them safe from like intruders and robbers? Do you stand up? Did I do this joke already with you, Darren? I feel like you were on a previous one and we talked about that. I think it has something to do with cybersecurity, right? Internet. Let me know. All right, Anita, Madison, Alabama, services broker. What does that mean? Sorry. One of my things I'm big on is like, just tell me in ultra simple terms. Oh, all right, Catherine is a franchise consultant. Love it. All right, Gabriel. Oh, Serban from Romania. Okay, nice to see you. We're international at this point, folks. There's no going back now. All right, Brandon's here, bookkeeping accounting from LA. Love it, love it. Joanna, Cape Cod, franchise consultant. Great books, Deborah says. Wow, thank you, Deborah. Not to be a shameless self-promoter, but wherever fine books are sold, or just go to nemomediagroup.com and get them for free. Don't tell Amazon. Okay. Kathleen is here. Oh, Stone Cold Comeback. That sounds like a wrestler or something. That's cool. Resilience training. Love it. Thanks, Andrew. You know what, Andrew? I'm coming off COVID. I've been sick for 2 weeks, had a terrible cold. I'm not giving up. I'm still alive. If I'm alive, I'm going to bring the energy. Don't worry. Jim is here. All right. Oh, Chiefs for the three-peat. Yeah, you're probably right, my friend. Stupid Chiefs. Okay, Dallas appointment setting VA company, Scott. Very cool. Very cool. Welcome. Blessed bookkeeping firm, Columbia, South Carolina. Love it. All right. Rick is here. Life insurance. Wow, we got quite the crowd. A lot of bookkeepers too. Jeff, welcome. We got Hope, another franchise broker, international trade consultant based in Austin and Prague. Wow, that's cool. Currently in Colorado. World traveler, Michael Grant. I love it. All right, Frank is from LA. Realty Cares, nonprofits raising money. That's so cool. What a good mission. Mexico, look at this, Arturo. I'm going to Mexico in a couple weeks for spring break. I'm going to Cancun. I'll be the fat white guy laying on the beach reading a book. You'll never notice me. That's just all Cancun is like, a lot of people laying there like slugs. All right, which is great when you're in Minnesota. I mean, come on, we got to escape. Northern California, Dan, what type of work do you do, Dan? Don't keep it a secret. All right, we got Sean, attorney. Love it, love it, love it. Packaging consultant, Stacy, nice to see you. All right, Peter from the UK, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, Gabriel has no Super Bowl choices. All right, Darren, keeping your family safe at home around town. All right, we're going to dig into that, Darren. We're going to dig into that. Ocala, Florida. What type of work do you do, Nathan? Let us know. Do you find LinkedIn a better way? No, I like Zoom better, Christopher. I mean, the problem with StreamYard is what I'm streaming on, and we're going to get into the presentation in a second. Welcome, everyone, especially those of you that are jumping in late. My name is John Nemo. I'm here to help you see how to use LinkedIn to generate leads, to sell your services without being spammy, without annoying your connections. Great question. So with LinkedIn Live, and we can even talk strategy here. LinkedIn Live is great because if you use the tools like StreamYard or whatever, obviously I'm streaming this live on LinkedIn. You can also do it on YouTube. Part of the problem is, though, I can't see how many people are here live. I can't put you on camera and have you talk live, at least that I know of, direct from the comments. There's some other things I don't like about StreamYard. I definitely like Zoom or Google Meetings better for like talking. John Carp, Bemidji, Minnesota. Shout out to Bemidji. All right, Bemidji State Beavers. I'm in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. So if you thought Minnesota's cold in the Twin Cities, go to Bemidji, man. Those guys you're tough. You're tough. You're moving up. You're moving up north. I love it. All right. We've got a LinkedIn user. Okay, we're going to talk about this. This is a long drive revenue to the bottom line while enriching their employees. Okay. We're going to fix all that. We're going to fix these headlines. And I'm sorry I can't see your name, LinkedIn user. Business Sherpa. Okay, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about terms like Sherpa. Vernon Webb. Good to see you, my man. Good to see you, buddy. Vernon Webb's in the house. Ireland. All right. No electricity due to the storm. One of our clients also talked about that, Rosemary. He's in Galway. His name's Connor. He was saying there's some awful storm and he's without power for multiple days. Bemidji State is a great hockey school. We have, fun fact, and then I'm going to get to the presentation. State of Minnesota, I'm a hockey fanatic. We have like 7 Division I ice hockey schools, just in case you're wondering. All right. Heard the accent, but now it's confirmed. What are you talking about, Christopher? Oh, yeah. Okay. You betcha, Christopher. No, okay. Fun fact about the Minnesota accent. I lived in Arizona for 2 years, right out of college, worked for the Arizona Republic newspaper. Totally lost the Minnesota accent because nobody down there talks like that. the movie Fargo came out. It was a big hit in the late 90s. Remember that movie Fargo? Now there's a TV series. I was so offended by how they portrayed Minnesotans and the accents. I called home to the Twin Cities to my sister and was like, we don't talk like that. That's ridiculous. She's like, oh, yeah, I know. Everybody's saying it's ridiculous. I'm like, oh, God, it's true. Anyway, last week without power. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I want to welcome everybody that is in here. Okay, again, my name is John Nemo. Our VP of Client Strategy and Business Development, Becca Arco, is all here. Everyone say hi to Becca in the comments. She's the best. She's going to be helping me on today's presentation with answering questions and commenting because another drawback of this system is I can't respond directly to your comments always like one-on-one. So, all right, we got another. Greg is jumping in. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. All right, so what we're going to cover today is I've got several different trainings I want to walk through on, starting with kind of the foundational pieces of LinkedIn and then moving forward. The foundational piece being your profile and how to attract clients with your profile. Then we're going to jump into the easiest way to kind of generate leads on LinkedIn, what to say, how to say it, and then really how to kind of move people through a LinkedIn sales funnel. All right. Look at all the hi Becca's coming in. All right. Oh, Lisa's in here, one of our clients. Hey, Lisa. Oh, I love your new headshot. That looks fantastic. Rick's in here. Are you from Minneapolis? Come on, Rick. It's not over, Rick. Tell us it's the next year, Rick. Next year. Get JJ McCarthy healthy. We'll see. All right. Everybody is saying hi to Becca. I love this. All right. Yes. Welcome, Becca Arco. She's the best. All right. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Let's dive into the first piece of training. So in this one, this is a really simple, quick win. I'm all about bringing you quick wins today. This is a super simple thing that anyone right now watching can do on their LinkedIn profile to kind of instantly make you more client-facing, more appealing, help people figure out who you are. So let's dive into what that is right now. Right away with a super quick win, super easy tip that you can use on your LinkedIn profile to kind of stand out on the platform. You'll notice next to some people's names on LinkedIn, they'll have their pronouns, their gender pronouns, he, him, she, her, whatever. What you can do, and I'm going to show you how to do this, is actually change that so that next to your name, you can actually have like a custom description of your service. So instead of it saying John Nemo, he, him, it can say John Nemo LinkedIn lead generation or John Nemo business coach, whatever it might be. And then it follows you everywhere on the website. So it's just another way for people to kind of instantly know what it is you do. Instead of it just being your pronoun, he, him, it can be your kind of description of your services. This was actually really cool. Somebody did an experiment with AI and they gathered, over 100 names. Look who came in at number 2. Your guy, John Nemo. So yeah, I'm coming for you, Brenda. I don't know Brenda personally, but it was all these different LinkedIn trainers and specialists that people put into AI and who should be mentioned first. So of course I'm going to do a humble brag. Anyway, let me show you how to do this as far as getting your pronoun updated. So it's a very simple process. You just go to your profile page and then you just go over here to the top right corner and you want to edit the area. You can see here on my name, it's got LinkedIn lead generation after my name. So you're just going to click the little editing pencil, pop in there, and you're going to go down to where it says pronouns. So let me find that. Basic info, custom pronouns. Okay, so normally, depending on how you've set up your LinkedIn profile, it will just have like, gender pronouns, like choose one here. You're going to want to choose the custom option. So you basically choose custom. So enter custom pronouns. And then you get about, I think it's something like 26 characters. So if you try to do too many characters, yeah, it's 25 characters total. So what I suggest is you put something in here that describes what you do, right? So business coach or healthcare consultant, just like a 2-word example. Feel free to share this in the comments if you want to test it or do it while you're watching right now. But again, you can do something like, accountant, right? Or bookkeeper or whatever, the service is 26 characters. I'm going to say LinkedIn lead generation, and then you just save it, right? And if you click here, you can learn more about how they use them. But again, choose the custom option and then put in what you want it. Make sure it says all LinkedIn members so everyone can see it. And then again, that's just a really simple way for it to follow you all over the platform. So I love this as a quick little hack that you can do with your profile page. And again, then anywhere you comment on LinkedIn, anytime you post a status update, instead of it just saying, he, him, she, her, it'll have what you do. So again, people kind of can get a quicker idea of what it is that you provide as far as a service, a product, things like that. All right, that's a super quick, easy way right off the bat here to get a quick win. All right, I love it. Sorry about the volume changes, and hopefully I'm not too loud here screaming in your ear. Today I'm doing a mix of like pre-done training videos so I can show you screen recordings and everything. And then also, obviously, I'm here live too to answer questions. But again, I want to make sure that we get through this content and, okay, we don't want the Eagles to win. No, we don't want the Eagles to win. Sorry, I responded to the chat. Yes, sympathy for the Vikings is welcome. Now, one of the key things too, so the example I just shared was, using the custom pronoun. And one of the big themes with your LinkedIn profile is you want to make it super simple and what I really call client facing, so that within a couple seconds, people can really figure out what it is you do and how you can help them. So in this next training, I really want to, emphasize and go a little deeper into the LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to try to play with the audio to make sure it's loud enough. But just if not, turn up the audio on your device. Hopefully you can hear me okay. If not, let us know in the comments. Well, this is good. I'm glad. See, this is what I'm here for. I need your affirmation. Keep it keep it coming. I love it. All right. So let's dive in this video a little bit deeper into how to really create a client-facing profile and really what I would argue is the most important part of it. So let's do that. Just in case, if you're not familiar with me, if you're not familiar with my story, I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to be a LinkedIn lead generation guy, and I'm going to get featured in Inc. magazine and the New York Times and on LinkedIn's blog talking all about LinkedIn lead generation, right? That's where I am today. That's where I've ended up. In fact, even the robots love me. Even AI, if you put in, or at least recently somebody shared this as a screenshot, who are the best lead generation experts to talk to about LinkedIn lead gen, ChatGPT actually put me number one on their list. So there you go. I got that going for me. The AI loves me. And where that's led to now today is having a full-scale, done-for-you LinkedIn lead generation agency. Yes, I have incredible fashion sense. That's just a side benefit of working with us is my Zubaz pants. But I've rewritten LinkedIn profiles for a lot of big-name people. Bob Berg and John Lee Dumas and lots of other people have a whole full-service agency. We have a lot of fun. And the core thing that you want to know is we've helped countless, small business owners and consultants and others, get incredible results from LinkedIn, making 5- and 6-figure sales. So there's a lot behind the tips that I'm going to teach you today, what I've learned, how it all works. And I really want to start with my own story, where this all came from, because it's going to show you how to use LinkedIn. The whole thing started, it's a crazy story, back in 2012. And at that point, like a lot of people, I was working a safe 6-figure day job. I didn't have to do anything different. I could kind of, put my career on cruise control. But I really had this hunger. Every single day when I would come home from work, and I actually have a picture of it because it so resonates. My 3 boys would run to the front door. They were really young at the time, all under the age of 10. And they would yell, "Daddy's home." And, here they are mobbing me at the door. And it was killing me being at this corporate job, commuting across town, all that. And then I felt like it was missing my kid's childhood. And so I really decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a shot at this. I want to build work around my life instead of the other way around. So what I did was I quit a safe 6-figure day job. I had enough money for 30 days. I had a whole 1 client. And again, this is back in 2012. So I quit my job. I have enough money for 30 days and 1 client. We also had no savings. In fact, we probably had about 20 or 30 grand in credit card debt. But I said, forget it. I'm going to try it, right? That's just my personality, not the recommended blueprint if you want to go into business on your own. But it's what I did, right? And so I also told myself at that point in my career, I can always go get another day job. I want to take my shot. And so I opened Nemo Media Group. I had a very exciting first office, very high end. Hopefully you can see an image of it right now, but it was my laptop on top of an empty Super Pretzel box. That was the office, the first office for Nemo Media Group. It was just me in a corner bedroom. And what I realized when I did this back in 2012 was there was an opportunity with LinkedIn that I didn't see other people utilizing. And I really wanted to take advantage of this, and that's what I did. And using the approaches I'm going to show you in this video and in this presentation, I was able in those first 90 days back in 2012 by myself, sitting in a corner bedroom, with the soft pretzel box in my laptop, I was able to generate $135,000 in new business, new clients from just random people on LinkedIn. So I was able to replace my day job and I was able to start building a business, and I never looked back. And so I really want to walk through how this works and what the first key step was. And what I realized back then, and what is still true today, is your LinkedIn profile is where everything starts. If you don't have a really well done LinkedIn profile, you're kind of dead in the water. It's like, inviting people to a party at your house and your house is under construction or dilapidated or it's missing the door, right? And people are scared to go inside because something might fall on their head. So you've got to have a really good LinkedIn profile. And the big eye opener for me, the big change that I made was turning my LinkedIn profile away from being a resume, which is still what you see so many LinkedIn profiles today. They are like an online resume. You talk in the third person, you lead with your job title, you lead with descriptions of everything you do all day, every day. And of course, the only problem with that is no one cares. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. They only care about themselves, morning, noon, and after supper. That is a quote directly from Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I literally built my entire business off that quote, that nobody cares about you, nobody cares about me, they only care about themselves. And so with every aspect of my business, I've always tried to figure out, how do I implement that? How do I apply that? When it came to my LinkedIn profile, I quickly realized, man, my LinkedIn profile reads like a resume. It's just all about me and the different jobs I've worked. And again, the only problem is if I want to use LinkedIn for business and to get clients, I got to make it all about them and what I can do for them and the key problems I can solve. So I really started here. I started with understanding the one client I had at the time was a debt collector. And so I'm pulling up the part of my profile. I had worked for a couple of years for a debt collection trade association, doing public relations and social media and video and all kinds of stuff. And in those couple of years, I really learned a ton about the industry. And I talked to debt collectors all day, every day. And I realized, oh, okay, I now have an education in this industry. There's no learning curve. I know how it works. I know what the pain points are of a debt collection agency owner in terms of sales and lead generation and marketing and websites, because I would talk to them all day, every day. And so again, when I started my own business, I only had the one client who owned a debt collection agency. He had met me through this trade association and was like, when you go on your own, I'm going to be your first client. And sure enough, he was. So what I did with my LinkedIn profile, and this is the first really key thing you want to do, is really repurposing each part of it to appeal to a target audience. One simple place to do that, let me show you, is with your LinkedIn headline. So what you do is, most people, again, their LinkedIn headline is going to say something like, CEO, Nemo Media Group, or whatever. Or some people will try to be really clever with their LinkedIn headline and say lead generation ninja, or they'll try to write like a couple of long sentences, filled with hyperbole and, industry jargon and things like that. And what I have really found, doing this over the last 12 years, is that you want to have a LinkedIn headline that basically does two simple things. Part one is you talk about the service you provide in your LinkedIn headline. And the second part is you say who it's for. So service I provide, and then the target audience I serve. So if you look at my LinkedIn headline right now, it's super simple. I provide this service, done for you LinkedIn lead generation. That is the service I provide. Who do I provide it for? Small business owners and consultants. So that was the first key step, was a simple thing of changing my LinkedIn profile headline. And that's something you can do right now while we're talking. Again, just use that simple formula, the service I provide plus the target audiences that I serve. All right, I'm back live. Hopefully, Naomi, I'm not blowing your ears out. Naomi! Sorry. Okay, I want to do a quick exercise. Let's do this in real time. So one of the key things, obviously, as you just saw, is your LinkedIn profile headline. Type in the comments right now a new LinkedIn headline idea for yourself. So it would be the service you provide for a target audience. So let's get creative with this, right? If you are a CPA or something, you would say, accounting, bookkeeping, and CPA services for, and then insert some target audiences. Like type those into the comments, and I'll give you feedback real time, because that's one of the key things I see people struggle with on LinkedIn. The reality is, if people can't understand within a couple of seconds, as I said earlier, what it is that you do, they're just going to ignore you, right? They're not going to, if it looks like gibberish or gobbledygook, or if it's got like, ninja or things like that, they're going to be like, man, I don't get it. What's in it for me? All right. So we got a YouTube comment coming in. Steve is jumping in. I optimize pool operations, free book and bio. So like I would redo this as pool operations for, pool managers, pool companies, something like that. It almost sounds like you're a business coach, Steve, or a consultant for the pool industry. Is that right? So maybe, business operations consulting for pool companies. That would be closer to a better LinkedIn headline. All right. And so Jeff has got, again, this might work better in the about section. I'm talking about the headline right next to your name, Jeff. So it would just be, so if we read all this, okay, so the benefits are helping people save, boost profits. Okay. So it's accounting, it sounds like. So what I would write, instead of putting all the benefits in your headline, you just want to start with what the service is and who it's for. So you would want to put something like accounting, bookkeeping, and tax services for small business owners, or for hospitals, or for 2 to 3 target audiences, just to start with. And we'll get into the rest of the profile in a minute, but that's a key one. All right. So let's keep going through. Phil, and thank you for volunteering this so I can rip you all to shreds. Just kidding. All right. Online fitness and health coaching for male exec. That's a solid headline, Phil. That's solid. That's solid, because I know if I'm a male executive over 40, if I connect with Phil, what's in it for me? Fitness and health coaching. Boom. Great job. All right. Patricia's jumping in. Project management done for you. So you're sort of getting there as far as the service, Patricia, but who's it for, right? So project management for, is it for corporate clients, small business owners, solopreneurs? Like throw an audience in there too. All right. So then we've got Dina jumping in. Franchise advisor connecting realtors and sales pros. Okay. So you're getting closer. So I would say, especially I know we have a lot of franchise consultants on, I would say for LinkedIn, another thing too that we'll talk about is keywords, right? So the way LinkedIn kind of terms franchise, they call it consulting. Like again, LinkedIn will use certain keywords to categorize you and have you, show up in search terms and skills. So always look at the LinkedIn skills to see what they say. For a lot of us, a lot of our clients that do franchise consulting, we call them franchise consultants. So it would be franchise consulting for, realtors, sales professionals, right? Something simple. And then if you're a franchise consultant, I like to add in kind of after that, what makes you unique, different, or better. So franchise consulting for realtors and sales professionals, and then put in a break and say, 20 plus years experience, franchise owner, whatever it is that makes you unique, different, and better is something to add in there. So like we got another one here from Hope, franchise business consultant. Yeah, so you're getting there, right? So like for you guys, for the franchise consultants, it's all going to be kind of the same in the front, which is franchise consultant for XYZ types of audiences. But then put at the end of it, and this is specifically for you guys, it can be for anyone, it could be your years of experience, that you're also a franchise owner yourself, that you have, that you've been featured in certain things. So that's just some thoughts there. All right, Ravi, super engaging leadership training. So like, again, there's, just to be super blunt with you, and I hope that's okay, I'm going to pretend I'm not from Minnesota right now, where we're passive aggressive and polite, and I'll just be like an East Coast guy. All right, listen, Ravi, this is how it has to be. So there's too much hyperbole in this. Super engaging, high potential. Take all that out and just keep it super simple and just plain. Leadership training for Fortune 500 clients. Boom, right? Leadership training for Fortune 500 teams. That's what I would start with. Again, be wary of hyperbole or big adjectives or things like that. Okay. Strategic planning, strategy, rural hospital. Okay. So this is good. So it sounds like consulting, right? So strategic planning plus strategy consulting for rural hospitals and small to mid-sized businesses. Yeah, solid. Andrew, same thing. Franchise consultant for, insert a couple of target audiences. One thing I'll say too, piece of advice, if you're not sure who your target audience should be, there's two ways I like to determine that for clients. One is, where do you already have a bunch of successful clients? So if you're a franchise consultant and you're like, man, my best clients have been healthcare sales reps. Man, I've killed it with those guys. They're really lucrative. They've bought a lot of franchises. Then, go into that niche, especially if you've already had success working with healthcare sales executives. And the reason being, if you put yourself out there on LinkedIn as franchise consultant for healthcare sales executives, now you can go build a target list of, guess what, healthcare sales executives, and invite them all to connect. And they're going to see in your headline, oh, he works with people just like me interested in franchising. So that's one way to pick your target audience, is where do you already have happy, successful clients that you have stories about and examples of? Go get more people in those niches. The other one is, if you're not sure, you're just starting, look at your own journey. So like, especially if you're a franchise consultant, maybe you weren't always one. Maybe you had a corporate career before that. I know a lot of franchise consultants come out that way. They were worked in corporate for many years, got into franchising, now they're a consultant. Start in the industries you worked in. The reason is you'll build instant rapport and trust with people. So if, for example, Andrew came up in a corporate career in finance, he could say franchise consulting for finance executives. And they're going to look at your profile, Andrew, and go, oh, cool, he worked in finance, he worked for Wells Fargo, and he worked for Chase. And cool, he gets our world and all the pain points and challenges. He works with people just like me. They're more likely to connect with you and talk to you. All right, so we'll go through a few more, and then we'll get to the next part of the training. I learned from you there in this last session. Okay, business growth consultant for sales teams. This is great, Deborah. Yeah, solid. Business growth consultant. You could niche it even more and say for healthcare sales teams, for finance industry sales teams. Like, get even more niched if you can. All right, Joanna's got in here. I help aspiring business owners find their franchise consulting for type of clients. I was just talking about that. So we'll keep moving. Retail consultant. Oh, this is interesting. So what type? So I would say, Rick, like, who's the type? What type of businesses use you the most? Right? It's probably obviously business to consumer, B2C. Are there certain niches within that industry? So be retail consultant for X, Y, and Z type businesses. Jeff says that's where it is. Not sure what I'd have to go back in time to remember what I was talking about. Not what you recommend. I'm pretty happy with mine. There are no foreign countries, just a world of opportunities. Yeah. And again, like, totally, Michael, use what you want. Like, all the advice I'm giving today, take what you like, leave the rest, test it. Like this, what I'm sharing today, is basically what I've learned doing this since 2012. Once upon a time, and this is confession time, back in the day, I did have things in my LinkedIn profile headline like LinkedIn lead generation ninja. And like, I cringe at what I used to say because I was trying all these things that experts told me, right? So what I've learned is with LinkedIn, simple sells. You just need to be ultra simple, right? So again, it's if it's working for you too, like, then great. Like, if, again, at the end of the day, I'm always going to say, if it works for you, do it. But this is what I'm finding, what I recommend to clients. So I appreciate that, Michael. Totally cool. Coaching positive change for, okay. So we're getting close. I would say business coaching for aspiring C-suite executives, or business coaching for directors and VPs, and maybe even in a certain industry if you can. So we're getting good. All right, Jeff's in here making IT. Wow, that's a mouthful, my friend. That's a jargon sandwich. Okay. I would say like cybersecurity compliance consulting plus evaluation for software companies. Something like that. Much simpler. Remember, fast, simple, quick, 2 seconds. Can they figure it out? Yeah, this is close, Brandon. Bookkeeping and accounting. And I would just take out advisor. Obviously, that's what you would do, is advise them. Bookkeeping plus accounting for marketing agency owners, business coaches, and consultants. I like that because those are 3 real niche audiences. And they know, if I connect with Brian and I own a marketing agency, oh, cool. In theory, Brandon, sorry, I just called you Brian, I think, but Brandon can help people just like me. So in theory, if I connect with you, Brandon, I would hope you have examples of marketing agency owners you've helped, so I can feel like, oh, okay, he works with people just like me. Cool, I can see testimonials or examples. Love it. Appointment setting machine. So this would be a little hyperbole. This would be a little hyperbole. I would advise the simple approach where you, Scott, appointment setting and VA services for XYZ type businesses. So again, there's lots more of these we can go through. Yeah, too long. Franchise consulting for realtors, sales executives, and corporate leaders. Boom. All right. Leora's in. I wouldn't say premier, right? Because again, anytime you're calling yourself something, people are going to be skeptical and say, "Ooh, I don't know," or just get the wrong vibe. Like, take out the hyperbole or any hype. Just say career coach for. Boom. That's really good. All right. Rick gave me an LOL. I'm not sure what for, but I'm sure I was hilarious. Okay. Let's take a look at this one from Sean. Whoa. I don't know what CE. So it's a good example. CEQA. Now, does your target audience know what those letters mean? That's another challenge I run into with clients on LinkedIn is like people have all these letters or certifications. If your ideal target audience knows that and it's common knowledge and it's valuable, then put that in. If they don't know what CEQA, I don't know what it means, right? So like if the average everyday person wouldn't know what that is, maybe explain it or take it out. That's just my 2 cents. Litigator and business attorney. Yeah, for real estate developers, super simple. All right, Royce, interviewing skills for podcasters. Yeah, see, 30 plus years experience. That's great. Patricia, you're welcome. All right, so like, again, you would need to get more into how you reduce the costs and what type of businesses. Cost saving software for small businesses, whatever the tool is that helps me save the cost. All right. Sales constitution again, I think this is good. Sales consultant for Christian businesses. Yep. Solid. All right. Business wealth strategists. Okay. What type of businesses? That would be the key thing. You don't have to talk about how you help them build it at this point. Just say, business wealth strategy for XYZ type businesses. Again, I would talk about, this is another interesting thing for coaches, Kathleen, and consultants is people don't want to buy resilience. They don't want to buy mindset. They don't want to buy whatever. They want to buy, at least on LinkedIn, as far as getting connection and engagement, you kind of have to sell people what they say they want and then give them what they need. So I would use things like leadership training or reducing employee turnover or those types of benefits really can go a long way. All right. So, and I see there's a lot more. You guys are awesome. All right. So again, I can't get to all these. I will stay on longer and answer questions. But I want to make sure that, okay. See, and look at this. California. Okay, so if you're targeting people in California, in theory, they know what that is. I just learned something today, Sean. Thank you. All right, so this next section, I want to dive deeper into the profile because there's so much more I want to share about how to create a client-facing profile. So I'm going to use one client as a great example of how we kind of niched her and then how you can take the same things of what we're showing here and use it with your profile. So let's dive in. Quick with a client of ours, Catherine Bishop. And I love Catherine's story. Literally within 90 days of starting working with me on Done For You LinkedIn Lead Gen, she told me to turn off the campaigns. She's like, stop. I've got too many leads. I got too many clients. This is working too good. Turn it off, which of course is the greatest problem ever. The great part about Catherine's story is her husband actually ended up quitting his day job to come work for her. Right. And 2 years after we stopped working with her, she's still getting new clients. Obviously, the headline is key. And when you look at Catherine's, again, the riches are really in the niches with LinkedIn. So for her, instead of saying Catherine Bishop, CEO, BlackBerry Accounting, or, the business name or whatever it was, or Catherine Bishop, just accountant, I niched it to a certain industry, construction, accounting, and bookkeeping. That's the service and the audience. Construction, payroll, and taxes. That's a service and an audience, right? Tax prep and planning. And notice the visuals. I put in little kind of construction related emojis to really help it, pop visually so she could see, or when a client looked at it, they could see, oh, okay, this is what she does. This is familiar to me. Even her LinkedIn background header that I made for her years ago was a construction job site with the words, right, of the service: construction, accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and more. So again, think about this, how the riches are really in the niches with a profile. She's all about this targeted niche audience of construction companies, contractors, etc. And the reason it works so well is because of her story. And that's what I want to get into here with the next part of the profile, is really explaining what makes you unique, different, and better, and why a certain audience is going to resonate with you. And now I know one key thing people always bring up is, well, wait, I'm hearing you say the riches are in the niches with LinkedIn, but I don't want to niche myself too much. I can be everything to everybody. Everyone needs an accountant, right? And this is a good example with Catherine. She does accounting for everyone. Like, she can do it for any type of business. Accounting practices and principles are the same, right? In general, tax strategies, saving strategies are the same, even across a niche of small business owners, right? So why would I niche her so much to construction, accounting, and bookkeeping? Isn't she leaving money on the table, right? Isn't this a bad thing if we niche her too much? Well, if you ask her, like, no, right? Like, she has so much business in this one niche. Her husband quit his job to come work for her. She's still getting clients 2 years after not, stopping with us because she had too much business already. The riches are in the niches. And if you just use LinkedIn to really appeal to one or two, maybe three target audiences to really stand out, you can be a big fish in a small pond. So let me explain to you how this actually works and how you can apply it to your profile right now. So as I mentioned, I niched Catherine to the construction audience because of her story. So, I put a lot of it in her actual profile, but again, where she talks about her story, let me get to it. Her dad was a contractor, right? So her dad was a contractor growing up. Her mom was a CPA, match made in heaven. But literally, she had to be on the job sites every weekend for her dad at 8 a.m. So every Saturday, 8 a.m. growing up, that was her place. She had to be on the job site, picking up nails, carrying boards, whatever, helping her dad with his construction business. She literally grew up in the industry. She grew up working in her family's construction business. So if you own a construction business, if you are a contractor, if you are a home builder, how cool is it to know that your accountant literally grew up in the industry and worked for her dad? And oh, by the way, her mom was a CPA that did the books for her dad's business. Now, you want to convey all that in a way that really appeals to your target audience. So let's walk through what that looks like. So the first sentence of your about section on your LinkedIn profile, this is what I love to use. And write this down, take a screenshot, whatever you want to do. Use all capitals to say what I do. And the reason I like all capitals is when we read on LinkedIn, we go up and down very fast, right? So again, you want to have your text stop the scroll and stand out. You're going to do that with these capital phrases like what we do, where you've seen us, and emojis. You can see the emojis here that really pop and show, some different things to illustrate people talking, whatever. But you'll see as you scroll up and down, a lot of white space in some of these all capital letters. So the first line, you want to say what I do, or if you're representing a company, what we do. And then I want you to use this kind of fill in the blank template. What I do, I help your target audience, right, achieve their goal, something they want, by providing my product or service. So it's very simple. For me, I help small business owners and consultants generate leads on LinkedIn and get quality clients by providing done-for-you LinkedIn lead gen, right? Very simple thing. The next part, and again, you can use this template. You can rearrange these sections depending on what stands out most about you. So for example, if you have a bunch of big name clients, a bunch of accolades, a bunch of media credits, then use that. So for example, on mine, right, I've been featured in a bunch of big name publications that will resonate with my target audience. So I'm putting that up high, where you've seen us or where you've seen me, Business Insider, New York Times, etc. Or if you've got great client testimonials, you're going to say what clients say, and you're going to put those up high. Now, it depends on your business and what makes you unique, different, and better. So again, with Catherine, she didn't necessarily have a bunch of big name clients or media accolades, so we skipped that. But what she did have was something that made her really unique. So again, this is a fill in the blank. What makes me unique? You explain that. She said, I've got big firm experience working at Deloitte and Duke Energy, which, obviously huge companies, especially in the South. She lives in North Carolina, so everyone knows. Obviously, Deloitte is, international, but Duke Energy is big there. where I implemented projects that saved the company $300 million. Okay. Oh, wow. So at a very big level, she worked on projects that saved, big companies hundreds of millions of dollars. I've even taught accounting at the college level, and I have a CPA and a master's. So right there, you're saying that makes her different than a lot of everyday accountants as she's worked for these big companies. So again, what makes you unique, different, and better? And then we talked about the story, industry experience. And again, notice the unique kind of construction themed emojis to help visually have it pop. And again, you tell the story, grew up on the contractor sites. As a result, why does this matter? I really have expertise around the unique, industry challenges. It was the same thing for me with the debt collectors. When I first started marketing myself on LinkedIn, I was saying, listen, debt collection agency marketing services, what makes me unique? Having spent 2 years working for the largest trade association in the debt collection industry, I have unparalleled insight into and understanding of the unique challenges debt collection agencies face. And that instantly built trust and rapport because, again, a prospect wants to feel like you've walked in their shoes. So some of the other, elements that you can put into your profile, let's keep going, where you've seen my work. So if you have big name clients, you can list them out and use unique emojis. You can also talk about what makes you unique, which we talked about there. Again, I'm using examples here. Services I provide. So I like listing out the services you provide, again, as a bullet list. And these are services that your clients are interested in. So again, maybe if you're in accounting and CPA, you can say these things: accounts payable and receivable, cash flow analysis, financial reviews, whatever. For Catherine, we did it very construction themed, right? So construction accounting, bookkeeping, construction cost control, and job costing. You know what your clients are looking for in terms of services, so you can put it in there. Again, problems I solve, you can even try that. Time management challenges or dysfunctional dynamics. Like, you can list out these bullet lists of items of what you do, the problems you solve. Maybe you want to say benefits my clients realize. So that can be where you talk about these are the benefits they realize. If you're a coach or a consultant, that works with teams and companies, right? Increase this, increase that. Words like increased or improved are great, right? And then an actual tangible benefit, right? Increased productivity, increased profitability. Use that. So who I work with, this is another one. You can then list out the types of audiences. And these are just examples from client profiles that I've rewritten, but you can see how clear cut this is. If I'm scanning up and down, this isn't a resume. This isn't you talking in a third person. It's, oh, okay, this is what they do. This is who they work with. I can self-identify. If I'm a property manager and I see that you work with property managers, I immediately trust you more and you have more credibility because, oh, good, you work with people just like me, right? Or industries I work in, right? You can say, these are the industries I serve and what I do. For client testimonials, put a few of those in, have it say what others say, and just paste that in and use a little talking emoji. It's super important. I see this a lot with testimonials. Use the full name and the company name so that people can actually verify it's a real human. Don't just put like Catherine, accountant, because you can be making that up. So use a real name and then just a simple little call to action, ready to talk, here's where to connect, all that good stuff. So again, this all goes in your about section, and then your experience section. You can see what a difference that makes scanning up and down, being able to see. You can also put in a section, my story, kind of a quick little story, ready to talk. One thing I would really recommend is in your experience section, being able to list multiple audiences. So this is something where, again, you've got your company here, and then you're going to have positions. So for me, because I use, different multiple audiences, I've got one experience or position listing for small business owners. I've got another one for consultants and business coaches. It's the same service, but I'm just niching it more to those audiences. So in this one, it's all about small business owners. In this one, it's all about coaches and consultants with specific examples, testimonials, and services for those audiences. This one's for franchise consultants. This one, might be for whatever else. So again, under your experience section, this is how you can hit multiple audiences. You can have, one listing for small business, one listing for consultants. Again, it's the same service in each one, but it's different audiences, different examples, different testimonials. And you, again, find that under experience. Just keep adding positions and you can keep creating that. And that's really what goes into having this client-facing profile where now when people look at it, they immediately know from looking at your headline and your about section, what's in it for me? What does this person do? Do they work with people like me? What services do they provide? Would I even want to connect with them? All that, goes through a prospect's mind, and you want to answer that question for them up front. Hey, that guy's great. I had to cut him off. He's teaching too well. Hey, I have all this. I know we're covering so much ground. If you go to nemomediagroup.com and then just click on free tips, you can get the ultimate LinkedIn profile template for free. In fact, I think I have a copy. I have a copy of the book here. So this is actually the hard copy you can buy on Amazon, but you can download this for free. Just go to nemomediagroup.com and then the free tips, and you just opt in, and then you can download this and all the other books for free. Again, there's so much to cover on this that I want to make sure. I know we're already getting close to the end of the hour. I got even more. So if you want more, type in the comments more, because I have more. Who wants more? Who wants more free training, more free tips, more gratuitous Victor the Viking sightings? What's that, Victor? Don't keep saying Darnold. I know, Victor. What's that? We hate the Chiefs and the Eagles. Okay, Victor. Type more in the comments if you want more. You're going to get more anyway, so it doesn't matter. But again, other quick thing before I jump into the next training section, if you want help, if you want direct help from our agency, obviously we do done for you LinkedIn lead generation. Just email me. That's the fastest way to get in touch with us, john@nemomediagroup.com. Just send us an email right now. Open up a new tab, whatever it is on your phone. Just say, want to talk about done for you, or just say, yeah, want to talk, whatever it is. And I'll know Becca or myself or someone on our team can follow up with you and see what you need and where you need help. Obviously, that's just the fastest way. I know a lot of times people are like, how do I work with you? Okay, look. Oh, all the comments are flooding in. More. This is the best one. More Victor. Who doesn't want more Victor the Viking? Ooh, first down. Let's go. That's all I got. All right. Rick is saying more. I love you guys. This is awesome. All right. Love it. And cupcakes. I have no cupcakes, but I'll work on that. All right. Love it. Okay. So in this, again, if you want direct help, just email me, john@nemomediagroup.com. We will get back with you. Now, in this next section, I want to take a little bit deeper dive into the profile, and then I want to really talk about how to get the leads generated on LinkedIn. So let's dive in. Show you just a real quick trick with our friend ChatGPT for your profile page. So, if you're like, I don't know how to pick out the right emojis, and how do I get the right ones, and how do I do it tastefully, and how do I make sure all this looks good? Go into ChatGPT and put in a bullet list. So in this case, basically, let's say these are different types of companies I work with, whatever my service is. And you just have a simple prompt for the bullet list below, insert a unique emoji related to each item it describes. And then you just hit submit, and it will spit the list back out, and it'll instantly have kind of tasteful emojis, right? So builders, construction, hospitals, business coaches. Now, maybe you don't like that one, so you can tell it to change it, financial planners or banks. So again, you can say, let's go down here and say, I don't like the one for business coaches. Show one with a person. And then it'll try again, right? And then it'll put one in front of, a coach, someone teaching. And then if you're still not sure, what you can do is you can say, give me a list of business-related emojis. And it'll just spit out a ton of them, and then you can copy and paste them. So this is another tip for you where it'll literally say, okay, here's any and all emojis related to business. So then, like, if you're doing something about increased profitability, you can grab that. Or if you want to say consulting, you can get a briefcase, right? So again, you can get ideas from AI to quickly kind of help you organize some of these lists. So we've talked a lot about your LinkedIn profile, and I can go much deeper on that. In fact, here, let me show you a new window. If you want, I have multiple free books on this. So again, just go to nemomediagroup.com, and you can actually get the Ultimate LinkedIn Profile Template. That's everything I was showing today. You can actually get a copy of any of my books, right? I've got one for business coaches, franchise consultants. LinkedIn Riches is for small business owners and everyone else. Just click on one of the images, and then you can download the free template if you want to go deeper. I don't want to do it all on this call, obviously. If you want fashion advice, I'm here to help. Zuba's pants for life, right? Minnesota Vikings are going all the way. This is our year. Don't stop me. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. So let me come back. Again, if you want more tips, just go to nemomediagroup.com and you can grab more free resources. They're just here on the homepage. So when we talk about LinkedIn, obviously starting with your profile, and we've touched on that. Once that's ready, really all the money on LinkedIn is in the mailbox. This is one of the great things that you're going to feel good about after being on this webinar, is that you don't have to do everything else. LinkedIn has all these different features and all these different things. And I know there's 1,000,001 gurus that are going to tell you, okay, you need to publish 700 pieces of content a day, and you need to go in and comment on everyone's posts, and you need to spend 4 hours a day, liking things and blah, 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 blah. And I'm here to tell you, having done this since 2012, let me just check. I have done this since 2012. I've seen every feature possible on LinkedIn that they've added. You need to, go in and you need to write this many articles, and you need to do short form videos, and you need to do, this and that and this and that. And it's like, I'm just going to tell you, all you need to do is one-on-one messaging. If you want clients, if you want business on LinkedIn, all you need to do is one-on-one messaging. All the money is in the mailbox. So with that said, obviously you need to know who to send your one-on-one messages to. And again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on how to find your leads on LinkedIn. That could be a whole training in itself. I recommend that you get Sales Navigator, which is an add-on premium product. And then you can go in and you can build lists of all your ideal leads. So you can literally go in and you can tell LinkedIn, I want people, who have this type of job or this job title or this seniority level. They've been in this role for this many years. Even they've recently changed jobs. They've recently posted anything and everything. They went to this school, there's so many different filters. So it's not hard. It's not a problem to find prospects on LinkedIn. There's over 1 billion people on here. Now you can use the basic search and you get some good filters if you want to start there. I really recommend Sales Navigator. I don't get any stock or any kickbacks. If you're serious about it, and this is what we use for our clients, I would definitely use that. And then again, once you have lists of prospects, you're just going to reach out one-on-one with messages. And I want to spend a lot of time now talking about what goes into a good one-on-one LinkedIn message. This is it. This is the whole package in one simple sentence. The simple secret to generate leads on LinkedIn is you craft a client attracting profile, which we've covered, and then you use personalized one-on-one outreach that puts the real life you into the engagement. So I'm going to show you that next. The final part is also offering some free content that will demonstrate your expertise and helps people get to know, like, and trust you. I'll cover that in a minute. Right now, I want to talk about the one-on-one outreach because we've covered all the different ways you can do it. And I want to explain now, what do you actually put into a one-on-one message and in-mail, etc. So I use this example. Let's say one of the clients we work a lot of times with is franchise consultants. So that's a niche audience here on LinkedIn. They use us for done-for-you LinkedIn lead generation. So what am I going to say to a franchise consultant on LinkedIn to get them to talk to me? Because we know everyone's getting inundated with messages and offers and spam and all that stuff. So first, I'll obviously build a list of franchise consultants, and then I will send literally one sentence, one line. I'll say, hey, name of consultant, can I send you a free digital copy of my book, LinkedIn Lead Gen for Franchise Consultants? And what that is I literally have an ebook I made just for franchise consultants on how they can use LinkedIn. And the whole point of this is I want to demonstrate expertise and show franchise consultants, hey, if you want to use LinkedIn to get leads, I literally wrote a book on it. Like, you can have it for free. So what I do is I literally just offer that as one sentence. Now, I don't do a bunch of personalizing in the first message. The simple reason is, and I know, a lot of people will say to you, well, listen, John, the best thing you can do on LinkedIn is go look at the person's profile and put a bunch of personal commentary in there, talk about, oh, I see you live in Minneapolis and I see, you work here and you went to this school, and all of that is great, by the way. Talk about where I went to college and, high school and, different things I volunteered at. Those are all great, but you don't want to do that first. The reason being, if you reach out to a prospect on LinkedIn and you do all that extra work to hyper personalize your messaging and say, hey, I was looking at your profile. I see you live in Minneapolis. I see you went to this university. Do you still follow the sports team? Hey, it's really cool that you volunteer there. I do that too. I see you live here. How's the weather? All of that's great. And all of that will get people to respond to you. But what if they're not a prospect? What if they don't need your service? What if they're not looking right now? What if they don't want to buy? As my brother-in-law, who's a great salesman, taught me years ago, he's like, I don't need more friends. I need more clients, right? So like you can make friends and do all that, but it's going to take so much time. So what I do, my first message is a qualifier. It is kind of generic, right? But it basically is qualifying them. Can I send you a free digital copy of this free piece of content? Or I'll say, hey, insert their name. Can I send you my best free tips on blank, which is something they would want. So my best free tips on how this target audience can get a benefit they want. So really the one sentence message that you start with is, hey, can I send you my best free tips on blank? Or can I send you this free content I've created that helps you get this outcome? You're wanting to use these messages to qualify. Think about this. If someone says yes, they're interested in the content, now I know they're a lead. Because if they're saying, yeah, I want to know more about how to use LinkedIn to get leads as a franchise consultant, guess what I do? I help franchise consultants get leads. Or if they say, yes, I am interested in tips on how to do ABC, since you provide that service behind those tips, now you know they're interested. That's when I go deeper. So then I'll follow up and say, hey, great. Here's a link to the free content. And then I'll say also, unless LinkedIn is misleading me, because again, sometimes people have things listed wrong on their profiles. I always just cover my bases and say, unless LinkedIn is misleading me, it looks like you live in Chicago, and then I'm a sports guy. So I joke, my apologies in advance if you're a Chicago Bears football fan, right? And now I love sports, so I'm going to gravitate toward that, but there's plenty of other things you can do. You can see, hey, here's the free content. Also, I see you live in Chicago. I'm planning a trip there with my family. Like, just be a real person. Like, what would you say in real life if you met someone from Chicago? What would you ask them? What would you comment about? Would it be the weather, the sports teams, the museums, the universities? Like, you'd have something to say to them. How do you like living in the Midwest? Now, you do that when you know they're interested. So part one of the messaging is, are you even interested in this topic? Do you even want tips on it? Is it even something on your radar? Because you'll have people write back and they're like, actually, I'm retired. I don't use LinkedIn anymore. Well, that's great. That's fine. I can take you off of my list. I don't need to follow up. And again, I didn't spend all the time personalizing the outreach. Now, if this person writes back and says, yes, send over the tips, then I'm going to go look at their profile and I'm going to be able to instantly add some icebreakers. The other thing that we do for clients that I would definitely recommend you do is track all your messaging. So the fortune is really in the follow-up. We create Google Sheets where we track every conversation. So these are all people that I'm talking to on LinkedIn, first name, last name, what their job title is, what campaign they responded to. So I know, I did a campaign offering a case study about this. They responded yes, or they responded yes, they're interested in the book. And then we timestamp everything in terms of, did we offer to book a call? Did we follow up? The fortune's in the follow-up. So for example, if I offer someone a free book and then they say, yes, send it over, I'm going to make sure that I follow up here to see what they thought of the book. And not just once, but I'm going to space out the follow-ups every couple days, whatever. And if they say to me, yeah, I'm going to get to the book on Monday, I'll make a note in here and I'll follow up Monday and I'll say, hey, did you have a chance to check out my book over the weekend, or did Netflix get in the way? Haha, like you do a personal follow-up. Because once someone responds, now you can start having a conversation. Yeah, I loved your book. And then you say, well, what resonated? What did you find helpful? I really like the part about changing the profile. I really need to do that. I'm so embarrassed by my profile. It does read like a resume. Ugh. And then I can say, oh, that's so great. I totally can relate. I'm so glad you found that helpful. Well, do you want more advice on how to do that? Did you know we actually rewrite profiles for you? How can we help? Do you want a course on it? And then that's where you can kind of move people into a sales conversation. So again, we track every single engagement, comments, right? What did they say? I'll give you an example of one for a client. just so you can see, these are all people that we're talking to. These are the campaigns, color coded, right? Which event, which message, did we follow up? Did they book a call? Having a second call, talking to them, do they know them, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously we're pulling emails and phone numbers too, because you can do a warm phone call or a warm email, because you can say, hey, I know we've been bantering on LinkedIn. I thought it might just be easier to call you or email you directly, with the whatever you were looking for. So again, the messaging is very simple. Step one is you really just want to qualify them, and you want to offer some sort of free content. And then step two is, if they say yes, they're interested in the topic or the tips, you deliver the content and you start personalizing the message. In this next section, I want to talk a little bit about how to actually create the type of content that we're talking about here, in terms of what people really want, what works well on LinkedIn to get people saying, yes, I want to read that or see that. All right. So good question. I want to make sure, and I was just telling Becca how to respond, because I can't type comments on LinkedIn. We use Google Sheets because they integrate really seamlessly, Scott, with the various CRMs our clients use. Meaning we have clients that use all sorts of different CRMs, HubSpot, Entreport, whatever. Google Sheets, if you use like Zapier or a similar tool, it'll connect everything. So when you update a row or a cell in Google Sheets, it'll automatically update in the client CRM with the person's name, email, whatever. So that's why we do that and don't recommend like one specific LinkedIn CRM. All right, I want to make sure I'm going to go over. So if you can stay beyond the 1 o'clock stop time or whatever, I got more training, unless you object to more free help. I'm going to stay and share more free training. Okay. So Buzz AI I haven't heard of. I've heard of Duck Soup. So I would say this, like, as far as LinkedIn automation tools go, obviously they're against LinkedIn's terms of service. I'm not about to go on LinkedIn and LinkedIn Live and say, yeah, break the rules on LinkedIn and all that. Like, that's definitely a conversation we can have offline. I have a lot of thoughts about automation for sure. So with all that said, and Becca responded to Scott too, I want to make sure before we get to the next training, if you have more questions, if you want more info, just go to nemomediagroup.com. And let me just show you really quick before we go to the next section here. I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully I don't get like the blue screen of death or anything. Okay. So again, if you go to nemomediagroup.com, we've got a couple things I want to point out. If you go under free and click on that, you can get all the free tips to your heart's content. We've got live training replays, the podcast, blog posts, and then free books. And then if you're interested in working with us, you can do this later after today's session. Click on the Work With Us tab or the Done For You, and there's a whole ton about how we work with you, what makes us unique, different, better, all that. So explore that to your heart's content, how we save you, 200 hours a month. And then at the bottom, there's, a type form you can fill out as well. Or if you want to just cut to the chase, just email me, john@nemomediagroup.com, and just say, hey, I'm interested in the Done For You or help or whatever. And then we also have online courses galore too. So we have lots of do-it-yourself online courses, lots and lots of things there. I just wanted to point out as well. So let me stop the screen sharing, come back. Okay, so with all that said, I want to dive into the next section. All right, well, if Leora is staying, then I'm staying. Fine, it's settled. Let's go. All right, so in this next section, I want to dive into content, because the reality is, and let me, Becca already answered that. So the reality is, obviously with the one-on-one messaging, right? That's the money's in the mailbox. You're cutting to the chase. Are you interested in this topic? If they are, what do you give them? What's the best type of free content? What works? What's going to, warm people up and demonstrate your expertise and help them get to know, like, and trust you so they move forward? So in this section, I want to dive into what that is. Let's do it. I want to talk about what type of content to offer people on LinkedIn. Remember, the money's in the mailbox. It's in these one-on-one messages, and you're going to offer some sort of free content, free tips, etc. What should it be? Should it be a video? Should it be a podcast? Should it be, a blog post? Should it be a newsletter? And here's the thing. I've done all of that. We've done it all for myself and for my clients over the last 12 years. Done For You podcasts, YouTube channels, videos, webinars, blogs, articles, you name it, right? I have found time and again across every vertical, every industry, the number one thing that gets the most yes replies on one-on-one LinkedIn messages, far and away, right now, and it's been that way for multiple years, is ebooks. And when I say ebook, this is what I mean. It's basically a PDF that is really well written and designed that tells your story and demonstrates expertise. So again, this is an example of Jim, a franchise consultant we work with, what it really takes to succeed in franchise ownership. So this was free content that he offered to corporate executives who were curious about franchising. And it starts with Jim's story, right? Like many great entrepreneurial journeys, mine started with some late night pizza, right? And he talks about his corporate career, and you've got real authentic photos of him. That's the other thing. You want these ebooks to be you, not stock art, not stock images, but the real life you, telling your story, but then also demonstrating expertise. So another example is Carrie Ann Golliver, another franchise consultant we've worked with, where she's going to tell you her story. Here's a guide to navigating, the investment opportunities with franchise consultants. And again, tell your story. So Carrie Ann's ebook starts with, I figured my brother-in-law just had too much wine during dinner. Instead, the phrase he blurted out changed my life. Whoa, what's going on, right? So tell a great story, explain, what happened, tell some tales from the trenches, and then really, help people understand who you are, what you do, why you're the expert at this, and then how and what they can learn from it. And so we've done this across so many different industries, executive presence, sales trainings, right? Female executives, for coaches, leadership ebook. This is one of my favorites. Just the cover is so cool that our designer did. Business and personal growth examples. And again, having great storytelling. Now, these are all ebooks I've written for clients, but you get the idea, right? My career started with a lie. I was 17 years old, boom, whoa, like you got to hook people with a good story. And then again, use real authentic photos, and then demonstrate expertise, leadership principles, leadership lessons, etc. Now, you can also do case studies. You can, do how-to books, like how to make your law firm profitable and fulfilling, right? This is a coach for, attorneys and law firm owners, all about placing you as an expert. So here's another example where we've got a client that does, luxury homes in Arizona. So guess what? We're going to showcase that, but we're also going to niche it to a target audience. So in this case, we're saying it's for out-of-state realtors, the out-of-state realtors guide to high-end home design. Because you think about people, in the Midwest or East Coast or, wherever they want to build a luxury home in Arizona, they're going to go to their local real estate agent and say, do you know anyone? How do I build a home in Arizona? The idea now with LinkedIn and this client is they're going to use LinkedIn. They're going to reach out to high-end realtors around the country and offer this free ebook. Hey, do you have any, clients that are interested in building a home in Arizona, a vacation home, a second home, whatever? If so, we're happy to share this ebook we put together that gives you all these tips. And again, this ebook goes into depth and shares their process and shares their tips. And then it also shares the story of this company and how they have become, this leader in building homes. So again, that's why I love ebooks is, again, it can be on any topic. Real estate, it can be super niched to your audience. Again, we've done them for everything you can think of, right? Investing, attorneys, retirement planning, 1031 exchanges. Listen, if I can write ebooks about 1031 exchanges, anything is possible. A great ebook is going to do two things. It's going to tell your story so that people get to know, like, and trust you. And it's going to demonstrate expertise so they actually can walk away from it going, oh, okay, well, if I did want to explore franchise ownership, I actually got some tips in here of what to look for and how to do it and everything else. And again, that's the same thing I'm doing with my ebooks when I say to people, hey, do you want a free copy of my book, LinkedIn Riches? It's all about how, small business owners can use LinkedIn, and I'll send you a free digital copy. And what you're going to see is, again, these are the types of replies I get on LinkedIn. They read your book. You did a great job with the book. I want to talk to you. Please send me your calendar and set up a Zoom. Here's why this works. Think about this. If you contact someone on LinkedIn, and again, your first message isn't, I want to meet with you. It isn't a sales pitch. It's, can I offer you some free tips? Can I offer you some free content aimed at solving a problem you have? And they say yes. And if your content delivers on that promise, if it actually does a good job educating them, showing them how to do something, helping them understand how to solve a problem, and it tells your story, and they get to know, like, and trust you because they relate to your story, your journey, your tales from the trenches, Now, by the time they actually get on the phone with you or do a Zoom with you, they've gone through, a 3, 5, 10,000 word ebook all about you. They've already kind of warmed themselves up. They already come in feeling like they know, like, and trust you. And that's why it's so important to qualify prospects with content, because again, it makes your job much easier than, well, okay, we connected on LinkedIn and I booked a call, and who are you and what do you do and what makes you unique and different and why would I listen to you and do you even know what you're doing? Have you worked with people like me? Blah, 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 blah. All of that can be answered in that content. So again, that's the one piece of content that you need. You just do it over and over and over again. You take the same ebook and you just offer it again and again and again to prospects on LinkedIn. The beautiful thing about this I love is you don't have to create 50 status updates every day, and you don't have to do, short form videos every day, and you don't have to publish 100 blog posts and all this. You just need one good piece of content that people will be able to read and consume that really helps illustrate who you are, what you do, and why you're good at it. And then you just follow up with them until they read it and go through it. And then they're like, yeah, this is really good. It really resonated. I'd love to see how you could help me with the same thing. So I hope that comes as a relief that you don't have to do all this. Again, if you are publishing tons of content on LinkedIn, and I publish lots of stuff, newsletters, articles, videos, all kinds of stuff. It doesn't hurt you one bit. None of this will hurt you. It's just a lot of work, and it doesn't lead directly to paying clients. Even my own stuff, I publish all the content because it's just good to have awareness and be visible and be out there. But what moves the needle, even for me to this day, is one-on-one messaging. Period. End of story. So that's really what I want to drive home. And as we finish up, I want to just say the 3 key things, if I go back to, my own advice on the secret sauce, it's simply step 1 is having a client-facing profile. And I've given you some tips on how to do that. There's more resources. Step 2 is finding your prospects and doing that one-on-one messaging with that simple kind of 1-line, 1-sentence thing where you basically say, do you want these free tips? And then offering some sort of free content that demonstrates your expertise and helps people get to know, like, and trust you. If you do that, if you just do the simple 3 steps in here, you're going to have more business than you know what to do with. And you can wear a popcorn bucket on your head if you want bonus points, right? But I hope that gets you fired up. I hope that gets you inspired to really look at LinkedIn differently, to understand what's possible. And most importantly, to go back to the premise of this whole thing, it's going to help you generate leads on LinkedIn without having to be spammy, irritating, or annoying. Because again, you're not doing anything that would irritate people. All you're doing is you're reaching out to people one-on-one, you're offering content in 1 sentence, you're asking permission. Notice in these messages, I'm not including the ebook. I'm not assuming the person wants the ebook. I didn't include the PDF. I didn't include a download link. I asked permission so they can just very politely say, no thanks, not for me, not interested, I'm retired, whatever. Nobody ever gets mad at this. No one's getting mad at this one line of, oh, you want to send me free tips? How dare you, right? Like, there's nothing about this that is going to be spammy or pushy or sleazy. Or again, you're not asking for anything. You're not asking for an appointment. You're not asking for them to fill out anything. You're just simply saying, are you interested in this topic? Can I send you tips? If they say yes, then you nurture it along, move it forward. So I hope that fires you up. I would love to hear your thoughts on all this. And we'll go from there. All right. I love it. I'm back live. Thank you for staying with me. I know we're a little bit over time. I want to answer questions now. So this is the FAQ part. So if you've got questions, put them in the comments. And again, if you've got more in-depth questions, if you want to explore working with us, get resources, online courses, just email me, john@nemomediagroup.com, and somebody get back to you. So now I want to answer, I know Michael had a good question, so I'm going to put that up. That you want to hire a virtual assistant. How do you balance, the content development and active outreach? So great question. Here's what I would say when it comes to kind of content and balancing everything. Just create one really good piece of content. And in my mind, that's an ebook. So create a really good ebook or outsource it, right? Or whatever it might be. Create one really high-end, valuable piece of content. And in my experience, that's an ebook. Then you're done. Like, create it once and then it's done. You can share it over and over and over and over again. Then, focus your time on the outreach. Ideally, of course, if you've got the budget and whatever, like, hire us or hire a partner to help you, scale everything. But that would be my best advice on that. Let me see if we've got more questions. Yes, a lot of people are asking about recordings. yes, we'll have a recording available. It should just be this same page. Just come back to this page and it should have the video there. Somebody's asking, do you know a way to block AI requests? No, there's not a way to block requests as far as like invites. I mean, you can block users, right? I mean, I think AI, this is an interesting topic. AI is obviously here to stay. I love AI. I think it's amazing. I'm all in on AI. I think it's going to revolutionize and is revolutionizing the way we live and do business. The ways I'm seeing it show up a lot on LinkedIn that I would caution you around is like fake comments. Like it's just obvious when you post something on LinkedIn, if it's an AI comment, it just doesn't sound like a human wrote it. I think it can hurt your personal brand. So if you embrace the AI, like, and again, the reason people are doing the AI commenting or AI messaging and things is they're trying to kind of game the LinkedIn algorithm. So you'll see a lot of like fakey sounding comments or fakey sounding likes or shares. And it's like people are trying to game the algorithm to get attention. But that's not what moves the needle. You can't deposit likes and shares and comments in your bank account. And that's why I keep saying like the money's in the mailbox. It's been that way since 2012. Just focus on the one-on-one messaging and having one great piece of content. That's enough to start things. That's enough to get people into a funnel. All right. So love it. Okay. Let's see here. Do I have experience working in? Yeah, we work with clients all over the world, not just the country. So we've got clients in Australia. I think we've worked with clients, obviously Europe, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Asia. I don't know if we've worked with anyone in Asia. Definitely Australia and Europe a lot. Canada, which is foreign. Even though I'm in Minnesota, we're right next to Canada. Yeah. One of the key things I would say, Robbie, working with clients from around the world is you just like one of our big things is custom, right? So we don't do generic kind of templated outreach or content because you have to know the client. So for example, if I'm taking on Ravi as a done for you client, how does he talk? What's his unique personality? What does he sound like? How does he approach people? Also, very important, what's the local culture like? So if you're targeting people in Mexico versus targeting people in Canada versus targeting people in London, there's a certain kind of climate and culture and colloquialisms and communication styles that we obviously get up to speed on and make sure that when we represent you, it doesn't sound like a Yankee or an American talking to someone in London. It sounds like another British person talking to a British person. Or in Australia, right, the certain words that you use or phrases, things like that are different in how people want to be approached. So this is interesting. Hannah says, it seems like we are shadow banned. Wow. It depends on what you did to get banned or shadow banned. I don't know exactly what your situation is, Hannah, which stinks. And I'm sorry. I have seen people get, restricted or banned from LinkedIn for breaking the terms of service or whatever. The only advice I can give you, is contact their support and plead your case. And it's a challenge, right? LinkedIn support is annoying. You can't talk to a real live person. It's all through support tickets. It is what it is. But I'm sorry to hear that. That stinks. Do I have any ebook samples? Those look good. Yeah, I mean, if you email me, we can probably send you some. If you look at our clients' pages on LinkedIn, they have them. I don't think I have them on our website as far as downloadable, but yeah, the ebooks are really good. Yeah, the ebooks, I mean, again, the length will depend, David, on, the client as far as what we create. If you want like a wide range, I'd say anywhere from like 2,000 words to 10,000 words, right? Depending on you, your story, how complex your industry is, how much you want to share. Obviously, people will read a longer ebook if it's compelling and engaging and has great storytelling. But if it's, more about just how to or case studies, keep it shorter. So that would be my advice. All right, good question from Dan. When someone says yes to the free ebook, do you ask for their email or use some other way? So what we do and what I recommend, and this is again through years of testing, if someone says, yes, I'd love your free ebook, I do a couple things personally. One is I send them the ebook directly on LinkedIn. So I reply to their LinkedIn message and I attach the ebook as a PDF. And then I also look on their LinkedIn profile page under contact info, and you can see if they have an email listed or if they list an email on their about section. I will then take that email and I'll opt them in to a campaign that delivers that ebook along with related tips. So for example, if a franchise consultant says, yes, send me the free book on franchise consulting, tips or whatever, I will send it via LinkedIn, and then I will put their email into a little drip email funnel only for franchise consultants. So again, the big mistake people make is they scrape your LinkedIn profile, they pull your email without you knowing, and all of a sudden you're getting real estate listings for properties in Zimbabwe. You're like, what? How? I didn't ask for this. I don't want this. So I do it two ways, right? One is I deliver it through LinkedIn, but I also, if I can find their email, I'll put them into a unique email campaign that sends them the ebook, but also sends tips relevant to their niche, to their industry, only those things, so that I can also nurture that through email. What I found is, and again, when I respond on LinkedIn, I'll say, hey, here's the ebook attached as a PDF to this LinkedIn message. I also sent it to the email I found associated with your LinkedIn account. If that's not a good email, let me know. I'll also email along some other free tips related to the ebook if that's okay. And I've never had anyone say, no, how dare you send me free tips when I said I wanted them, right? So you don't get a lot of pushback. What I used to do years ago was I would reply on LinkedIn with a link and be like, here, go to nemomediagroup.com, blah, blah, blah. And I would find people wouldn't do it. And the reason is, think about the amount of steps involved. The person has to log back into LinkedIn. They have to see your message in their inbox. They have to click on the link that you sent them. They have to go through the LinkedIn screen that says, hey, you're leaving LinkedIn, because they don't want you to leave their platform, and you're going to an outside website. Okay, accept. Then you have to go to the outside website. Then you have to fill out a form. Then you have to hit submit. Right? That's just a lot of steps. And if someone's given me a yes, I take that to be, oh, okay, cool. You're giving me permission to send you the ebook. And I'm going to take a leap here and say you wouldn't mind more free tips related to the ebook. And of course, you can unsubscribe. And there's context for the conversation as well. So that's what I recommend. I see it work really well. Great question. All right, so let's hop to another one. Leora says, I have a PDF of a full-length book. Yeah. No, not at all. I would give it away. I give away, where's my main book? So, okay. So I have the LinkedIn Riches book, right? This book is like 25,000, 30,000 words. It's a, fairly decent little business book. I give the whole thing away, right? If you've got a full book, even better. The perceived value of giving away a full book is great, right? Because, wow, I can get the whole book for free. Fun fact, I'm actually rewriting this. I'm doubling the size of this book. It's coming out soon with all the insights I've learned over the last 12 years. So look for that. I'll be obviously letting people know, and I'll be giving it away for free again. So yeah, I would definitely give away the whole book for free. That's fantastic. All right. Jeff says, do you send a connect request for your first, or just message to Sales Navigator? So yeah, we're getting into the logistics a little bit, which is a great question, Jeff. Depending on how you approach things on LinkedIn, the one-on-one outreach can happen a few different ways. One is you can send someone an invitation to connect, and you can customize that or leave it blank. There's different schools of thought on that. The other thing you can do is you can use Sales Navigator to send a paid in-mail, a paid one-on-one message. A third option is some people have what's called an open profile on LinkedIn. You can send a free message, a free in-mail, right? So those are three ways. There's others, but I'll just focus on those three. I always recommend inviting people to connect, and then ideally they accept your connection, because once you get connected at the first degree, we can message each other for free, unlimited one-on-one. In-mails or open profile messages are great too, especially if someone doesn't accept your invite to connect, because it will kind of force feed into their inbox that message. So you can do both. All right. So then Roy says, if they love the book, what's the next step? A one-on-one call, get them to email. So again, it depends on your personal sales funnel, right? So depending on what you're trying to do, Royce, and how much you want to qualify people, if you send them the content and they love it and they read it and they're like, this is great, it really resonates, then what I typically recommend and what we do for clients is nurture the conversation. What really resonated? What did you find helpful? Oh, the part about XYZ. Oh, okay. Well, you're looking for help with XYZ? Yeah, we are. Oh, okay. Well, would it make sense for us to connect live? We actually can help you with XYZ. Sure, let's talk live. That would be an example of how to book a sales call directly after they read the book and love it. If you're more like, well, I want to qualify people even more, then you could say, hey, great, I'm so glad XYZ resonated. If you'd like to explore having us help you directly, the next step would be blank, filling out a form, watching a video, whatever you want to do to qualify them further. It just depends on your personal approach. We do it all sorts of different ways. And again, it just depends on the situation, how qualified you want a person to be, how many hoops you want them to jump through before you'll talk to them live. Okay, Mike has a question. Would you change your outreach method at all for business to consumer? Seems like this is more a B2B strategy. I would not use LinkedIn for business to consumer. How's that for a strategy? I would not use it. I don't think LinkedIn works. This is my opinion. Having done it since 2012, I think LinkedIn is gold. It's the gold standard for B2B, business to business. I think it's incredibly, incredibly difficult to do business to consumer on LinkedIn. I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's worth the effort. I don't think it's worth the blood, sweat, and tears. I just wouldn't do it. So I'm sorry. if you only do B2C, I don't think it's worth it for LinkedIn. I'm happy to be proven wrong. What I have told people that do business to consumer is say, if you want to use LinkedIn, use it for referral partners. Use it for finding people that can send you consumers. It can work well that way. So for example, if you're a realtor and you're like, listen, I'm a residential realtor, I just want to sell homes to people in my city, I wouldn't use LinkedIn to try to sell homes directly to buyers. I would use LinkedIn to connect with job relocation people at companies in your area. I would use it to connect with mortgage brokers that, could be a referral source. I would use it to connect with people that can send you business or bring you leads. That's how I would use it. All right. With the video editor, I've never heard of the CapCut video editor. Do you have alternate free video editor? There's lots of video editors. Boy, I wouldn't have a free one. I suggest. Yeah, I can't. I use Final Cut Pro for video editing. I know it's a paid product on Apple. I'm sure there's free ones. I don't have a good one off the top of my head for you, William. I'm sorry. Robbie says, you just said the magic words. Yeah. Culture customization. Right. You have to talk to the people like they're human beings, and you have to kind of adhere to and understand the local culture. That's why I see a lot of clients come to us as a done for you LinkedIn agency, and they're very frustrated. And I'll say, well, why are you frustrated? Well, they outsourced us to a team in the Philippines and they messaged people and it didn't work. And I'm like, yeah, because it's not any fault of the people in the Philippines or overseas talent, but they don't know local American culture, right? They're not going to get my Victor the Viking references for someone from Minnesota, right? Like, these wouldn't know. Like, just like if you ask me to market to someone in Shanghai, China, I'd be like, okay, well, how do I break the ice in Shanghai? Like, what's the cultural norm? Like, I would need to do research and really understand the local climate and the local culture before I could comfortably represent a client with, one-on-one communication. So that's why we do that. We do the research. We, understand, we interview the client in depth and go, how do you talk to clients? Take me through a conversation. So what does it look like when you meet someone? What are the do's and don'ts of kind of how people talk in your city, in your area? And then it's easy enough to replicate. So great question there. All right, Daryl, I've had trouble with fake people on LinkedIn want to connect, fake female. Yeah. I mean, there's fake accounts are out there. I mean, I would just say, obviously, disconnect and block if you realize they're fake or scammy. It's inevitable, right? Marketers ruin everything and people are trying to be, spammy and bots and whatever. I would just say, yeah, use your best judgment. If you can't tell if they don't look legitimate, just don't connect, or disconnect quickly and block them. It's annoying for sure. All right. Dan says, thanks for the great and detailed reply. You're welcome. Great and detailed is my middle name, Danny. All right. Chrome. Again, this gets into AI, not AI, but this gets into automation and data scraping and all that stuff. LinkedIn is very clear about that. Violates their terms of service. You're breaking the user agreement. I would never, especially on LinkedIn, publicly suggest you should go out and break the rules. So that's, we can have those conversations offline separately. I don't have any real official thoughts on that for sure. Okay. Again, if you want help, if you want to go deeper with us, if you want to explore, anything, go to nemomediagroup.com, look at the work with us page, email me directly, john@nemomediagroup.com, and Becca or myself will get back to you. Let's get to a few more questions before we run out. All right. So Greg, we'll give you the last question here. Do you have any tips for finding decision makers versus just practitioners, VPs? Right? Yeah. I mean, again, obviously with LinkedIn Sales Navigator and the filters and everything else that you do, Greg, you can get pretty nuanced and detailed about, Are they in a decision maker role, job title, industry? How long have they been in the role? Have they commented recently with these terms? Do they use this type of software? Like, you can get really nuanced. And then the other piece I would suggest is you want to use those qualifying messages. Are you interested in this topic? Do you want my best free tips? And then let the content do the qualifying so that you're not, like, don't be in a rush to book a call. That would be my other advice that I see too often is everyone just wants to book calls to feel busy and feel like it's working. But it's a step backward if those are just wasting your time, if they're unqualified, if they're tire kickers, if they're not ready to move forward. It's also very draining emotionally. It takes your energy out. It hurts your mindset to be like, I'm just spinning my wheels, talking to people that aren't ready. So just kind of take your time, qualify people more. Don't be afraid to ask them to fill out a form or answer a few questions. And again, I always want to reverse engineer, who's a decision maker. So for example, on my, I have a form before we do a live call with a prospect. One of the questions on the type form is, who are the key decision makers in your business? Basically it says, I know what it starts with this question. Are you the sole decision maker for your business? If they reply yes, great, we move to the next question. If they reply no, using a tool like Typeform, you can have this conditional logic. So if they reply no, I'm not the chief decision maker, or the sole decision maker, I should say, another question pops up and says, who else needs to be involved? And then they can fill that in. That way I won't get on a live call unless we know all the decision makers are there. So those are some great examples. I appreciate the nice words, the nice comments. This is great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys all so much. We're going to go ahead and end the live session for now. Again, 90 minutes of pure Nemo. I think we've all had enough. Feel free to watch the replay. It'll be on this same page. Just come back to it. If you want to talk live, talk more about our services and help, just email me, john@nemomediagroup.com. Go to nemomediagroup.com. Lots of free resources, courses, all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for being on. Appreciate you. We'll see you soon again, and be well.